Coffee Chat, Redefining the Empty Nest. Here are your hosts, Lisa McGrath and Renee Lowry.
Hi, welcome to Coffee Chat, Redefining the Empty Nest. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Renee.
And we're here today because we wanted to answer your questions. So if you ever have a question, go ahead and add it in the comments and we'll see if we can't get back to you and answer your question. But we've had some interesting questions come in, so we thought we'd take a moment and answer them for you. So Renee, can you share the question we're going to talk about today?
Yes, I absolutely will. Our question today is from Valerie, and she says, I've been to therapy for many years. My son and daughter have gone off and started lives of their own, and that's what I've wanted for them. But my life seems to have stalled. Therapy doesn't help much either with this. What can I do to help me make this transition and have it not feel like a dead end? It's a great question.
It is a great question, and quite frankly, it kind of matches a lot of what I already do in my coaching practice, and I think it probably you do as well.
Right.
So it's interesting. Can we kind of break it down a little bit, though? At the beginning, you said she's been to therapy, and that's not uncommon for people to go to therapy and then go and find a coach, or have a therapist and a coach at the same time, because they're different things. I don't know if you see that too. Do you see that in your practice?
Absolutely. It's amazing to me that many people think that therapy and coaching are the same. And while they're similar, they are not the same. Therapy is primarily focused on the past, on learning from your experiences, on figuring out what's going on with you right now, as where coaching is more about the future. Where do you want to get to, and how can we help you get to there? And with this perspective comes a lot more ease. If you constantly are focused on the past, constantly focused on what's going wrong in your life, constantly focused on all the excuses we all have, because we all have them, right? I have plenty of my own. But if you focus on that, that's where your life goes. It's like the horse with the blinders, where you look, you go. And that is where you stay. It does tend to stall a person out if you focus in that area for too long. But a coach's whole job is to be more future focused. It is to say, hey, okay, where do you want to be? What do you want your life to look like? And then we help you figure out what you want your life to look like a year from now, 5 years from now. And then we help you design the path to get there. And guess where your focus is? It's on where you want to be instead. Your choices are all where you want to go instead. And so everything falls into place, one tiny little choice at a time. Eventually you'll look back a year from now and be like, wow, look at all that's changed, because your focus has changed.
It's aligning that. Now, one of my mentors was Dr. Wayne Dyer, and he always said, what you think about, you manifest. And that's really true, just like what you just said. So if I'm thinking about something, I like the analogy you used with the horse blinders. I'm going to steal that. I'm going to have to use that, because it's true. What you think about, you manifest. And until you have a prior knowledge base, and it's what you know. However, when we expand that and we introduce new things, you have the opportunity now to reframe what those thoughts are. You have the opportunity to pivot and move on. So I agree. There's a difference between therapy and coaching, and you can have both. But coaching, typically, at least in my world, and now after talking with you a lot, I know it's yours as well. It's where do I want to go? Where am I now? I'm assessing where I am, and then I'm going to align my action steps. We call them action steps in my program. What are my the next best steps for me? And that's how I'm going to make my progress and go forward. So that was the therapy part of that question. The next part, can you remind me what the next part was in the question?
Yeah.
Did she have a daughter?
My son and daughter have gone off on their own and started their lives. And that's what I wanted for them, which is great. Of course, that is the goal. And then she says, but my life seems stalled. Therapy doesn't help much. What can I do?
Okay. So I'm gonna skip over the middle part, because I want to get to my life seems stalled. When your life seems stalled, you're not you're living in the past. You're not thinking about the now. You're not thinking about the future, and you're not taking responsibility. So in my world, you need to take total responsibility for yourself, what you're thinking, because that leads to what you're feeling, and that leads to what you're doing. So what do you think about that word stalled? And I like that she used stalled, because that means she's open to the possibility there's something else out there.
That's a very good fact. I agree. One of the best visuals I like in this moment. Well, there's two of them really. I like to think of it like a giant dust storm. Okay, so when these moments where you don't know which direction to turn, it's because you're in the middle of a giant dust storm and you can't see anything. Everything is up in the air, all around you, swirling, and there's literally nothing you can see or do. Nothing you can see or do. It would be as if it was a giant dust storm, can't see your hand in front of your face. In this moment, and there are these moments, okay? So the first thing is accept that these moments happen. Sometimes more frequently, sometimes less frequently, but they happen. They're there for a reason. You're going to get past this one too, okay? Just like you did all the other ones. Mm-hmm. This is what's happening. It's everything's up in the air. Can't see your hand in front of your face. But one thing you know is true is that dust is going to settle eventually. And when it starts to settle, you'll start to have more information. You'll be able to choose in that moment and sort of figure out where to go, what to do next. Again, a coach can help you find that path and settle that dust a little faster sometimes. But this is what's happening. It's a visual for this moment in life. There's this giant dust storm. You can't see your hand in front of your face. Wait for the dust to settle and don't feel the anxiety while you wait. Just say, okay, I'm in the middle of the storm. As soon as things start to clear, I'm looking for them to clear. When they start to clear, then I can make an educated choice. But right now, I couldn't choose if I wanted to. Because a lot of times what happens in these moments, people just spin their wheels. They just run and do things, run and do things, run and do things. It would be like trying to clean the outdoors in the middle of a dust storm. You can clean. You can run here and clean this and run here and clean that. But as soon as you're done, it's going to be filthy again. Mm-hmm. So you're just running for no reason whatsoever because you can't make an educated choice when everything is up in the air, when you're blind and can't see. You know, you have to wait sometimes and say, it's okay. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea where my life is going to go next, but I know I'm going to figure it out. And that is an amazingly empowering thought. I know I'm going to figure it out. I'm just waiting for the dust to settle so I can see what's what.
What's what?
Well, that's kind of my favorite visual.
Yeah, be still. Yeah. Be still, and I say be still and listen to the God whispers. And I also believe, and I know you do too, is that this is a time you not only develop the relationship with yourself, but you're going to improve the relationships with others, including your children that have moved out. So the daughter and son that she mentions, you raised them to be individuals, like the middle part of that question was all about. She raised them, they're out, they're making decisions on their own, and they're learning. They're going to continue to learn. And because they're on their own, you're not responsible for what the choices they're making. And so that was a mistake that I made when my children left home, is I still consider them my babies, and I would offer my opinions and solutions when I wasn't asked. So one of the things in that middle portion of that question is you raised them, you gave them the building blocks, now allow them to build, wait for them to come to you with questions or asking for advice. And in the meantime, when you say you're feeling stalled, take responsibility for your life. What is it that you'd like to do? You are responsible for writing your next chapter. And so for me, and I've mentioned this in several times, it was writing. I wanted to be an author when I was a kid. And so I was able to take that dream off the shelf and dust it off and become a published author. So much so that that's one of the things I do now is help people with their writing and their book projects. And if you're feeling stalled, the first thing that really comes to my mind is, Renee, that's a great time to write your family legacy project. That's the time to go back and think about those children, those memories, the stories, the traditions, those favorite recipes that you used to make together. All of the things that you dreamed for your family and for your children, you can capture the history of this and the Family Legacy Project. So I didn't mean to talk about that, but that's kind of what came up to me, was that this is a perfect time for that. You capture those memories.
Yeah.
And there's magic when you take a pen. That's why I always ask, do you do journaling? I have my clients do a
I
lot
do.
of journaling. Okay. There's magic in it, isn't there? Same thing. Writing is it's so magical, and it brings back those memories. And so that's another thing that someone could do at this time is
I
go ahead.
I totally agree. And one of the greatest things that happens when you're taking a good look at the life that you've lived, your children's lives, the good times you had, what caused them, the rough times you had, and how you got there, and what lessons you learned afterwards. When you're in touch with all of those things, what you're really also doing, and especially in the journaling, is you're figuring out who you are and how you work. So getting in touch with that again in a place where you can't really see your hand in front of your face and you don't know which way is up,
That storm
helps you to connect with who you are. It helps you to, really figure out what it is that's going to bring up that spark in you again, because that's how you find it. You explore, and that is one great way to explore. That's a good time to talk about your family legacy project, actually. But yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah. And so Valerie was her name, right? Did she mention if
Yes.
she's single or married? Did it say?
She didn't say. She
Didn't say.
No.
Because something that you've often talked about too is that some of your clients are now working on their relationships together. So if she feels stalled, if she's in a relationship when she's married, this might be a time for her to develop that relationship with her partner a little bit deeper,
Right.
and really create that next chapter together. So that might be something else if she feels stalled. But this is exactly why we put Redefining the Empty Nest together, because we know
That is.
that so many people identify with their jobs, their roles, what they do. And then when they go to retire, that's when their lives fall apart, right? Well, the same is true of when our children grow up and they fly away in the nest. They leave the nest. We feel like we identify as a parent, and with that gone, now what's my life? What's my worth? And so when we have that relationship with ourselves, we identify our self-worth. We no longer just wear that one hat of parent. We can wear that individual hat. So I think that might be something that she might want to look into. But I'm so excited that she offered a question. So again,
Me too. But
go ahead.
I just want to throw in one more thing here, because our solution was figure out what you want to do and start doing that. I mean, that's basically the solution. When you're stalled, you figure out what it is where you want to be instead and start doing that. That's not always so easy, though. It's not as easy as it sounds to do that for a lot of people. So I just want to make a note that it is important in this situation that you just figure out the next step. Only the next one, only the first step, and that's all you have to figure out. That's all you're responsible for. Because you said the word, you're responsible for figuring out what you want to do and going and doing it, which is true. But you don't have to have all the answers.
No.
You don't, so you will get them. All you have to be responsible for is taking that first step, because when you take that first step, you're going to have a lot more information. You're going to have a lot more at your disposal to say this is the right way or the wrong way. And then you can choose again. Do I want to keep going in this path, or do I want to take a different one? So it's no pressure. It's no pressure. You just have to start. Just take the first step. That's all you're responsible for.
It's just learning, right? So even though you make a decision and you take that step, like you said, that one step, and you're heading toward whatever it is, you can change your mind. You can change your mind. Because what you just said is when I have more facts, when I have more information, that's when it's going to be easier to make decisions. When you don't have any information, when you're grappling around and trying to figure everything out, that's when you're feeling lost. Or like what you said, that the storm, right? So you can't see your hand in front of your face because of all of the things that are going on. But when you're still, and when you say, okay, what can I do today? What's one thing I can do? Taking that one step will then lead to another. And those action steps provide momentum, particularly when you do find what that new thing is that you want to do, what resonates with you and who you are in this stage of your life. And thankfully, it changes, doesn't it? So, you might have been a cheerleader or an athlete when you were younger, and then all of a sudden you were a parent. You might have worked as an accountant, and so you were dealing with all of that. And guess what? You're still a mom, or you're still a dad. You're still a woman. You're still a man. You're an individual. So find what resonates with you, what brings you joy, what brings you purpose, and then take a step toward that, one step at a time. And then align everything that you do, the choices or the decisions that you're making, they should align with that goal in mind so that you get closer and closer. And it's not.
Yeah, that's true. I actually have a visual that, because we're talking about this, I just want to share it because I love this visual because it really, to me, I think it really helps explain what we're talking about here. And that is Valerie in this moment is in the bottom of a deep pit. So imagine a cylinder pit that goes deep into the ground and there's a ladder on the side of it. Okay, she's at the bottom of this deep pit. Yeah, totally. If you look up from the bottom of this well and the bottom of this deep pit, all you can see is one circle of daylight. And that is all you can see. That is all the information she has about what's going on in the world, in her world. That's all she can see. But if she takes a step up, that circle gets a little bigger. By the time she's halfway out of the pit, she can see a whole lot more of the sky.
Very good.
She doesn't have all of the information though until she's closer to the top. So with every step, you do gain more information. You do gain a bigger perspective, and things aren't as scary as they are when you're at the bottom of the pit. So one of the things I love to tell people is just know you're at the bottom of the pit, and the only direction from here is up. Every step you take is going to give you more information. So you see more and you'll know more. It prepares you for what you're about to face. You don't have to go through everything at the bottom of the pit. You're going to be on safer ground the higher you climb. So just one step at a time. First step.
Yep. Excellent. Yes. And build that momentum and celebrate whenever you have that spark of joy. You catch yourself, right? And it's like, wow, take note. What are you doing? What are you thinking? What are you feeling? And take note and take some more steps in that direction.
Absolutely. I love it. And you're so right. This is why we started this, is to be able to talk and share our stories and answer questions. And because we are all in this together, we go farther when we go together. So this is it for us.
And that has really been, our mantra is that we're better together. And we don't need to feel like we're out there alone, because we're not. We're together. And if we don't have a solution, we have a wealth of experience between the two of us, but we're willing to say, I don't know, and let's go find out. Let's go find someone that does know. And so that's what's important, is we're going to redefine the empty nest, because there's too much of life to live.
Absolutely. Thanks, Lisa. This was so much fun. I'm glad we got to chat today.
Yeah, thank you. I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next time on Coffee Chat, Redefining the Empty Nest.
Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye.
If you'd like to be a guest on Coffee Chat, follow the link, be a speaker, and apply. Subscribe and like our videos. You can follow Redefining the Empty Nest on YouTube or join the Facebook group.